Hey yogis, welcome back to another flow with me, Amy, your yoga teacher if you've never practiced with me before, and if you have been here before, then welcome back. I'm very happy to have you all here with me. This is going to be a flow featuring lots of advanced arm balances, so it's going to be challenging, but it's going to be fun. And we're going to tap into a sense of playfulness. So whether you manage to do the arm balances or not does not matter. It's all about trying, having fun, picking yourself up when you fall. So without further ado, we're going to begin in a tabletop position today. So come onto your mat, stack your shoulders over your elbows, over your wrists, your hips over your knees, and find one nice long line from the crown of your head to the tip of your tailbone. Start to connect to your breath here in this tabletop, filling the belly up with air on every inhale and engaging the core to squeeze out every last drop of air as you exhale. Inhale through the nose, fill up the belly, the ribs, the chest. Exhale through the nose, empty out chest, ribs, belly. I'll invite you to try and make your breaths deeper, smoother, longer and slower. Nourishing the entire body with oxygen, giving our muscles the nutrients they need to work through this practice. Take 3 more deep breaths on your own, at your own pace. Now, before we start to move, set an intention for your practice. So, do you want to find that sense of playfulness? Find the laughter and joy when you fall down. Let go of the frustration. Maybe you want to challenge yourself today. Maybe you want to stay really connected to your breath. Just take a moment to set that intention. As you're ready, drop the belly, lift the chest, shine the heart forwards, and round through the spine on your next breath out. Deep breath in, shine the collarbones forwards, drop that belly down. Deep breath out, arch that back up towards the sky. Fill those lungs as you lift the hips, draw the shoulders down and back. And empty the lungs as you draw the hips and the chin in towards one another. Inhale to lift, exhale to round. One more time. Inhaling, drop that belly, lift the chest, exhale, round. Now start to take it into the hips. So maybe you take the hips round in circles. Maybe you make a figure 8. If you're taking circles, just be sure to go in both directions. You might hear some clicking and some popping sounds as the body starts to warm up. That's totally normal. Come back to your neutral tabletop position and we'll warm up the wrists by rocking backwards and forwards, bringing the weight onto the wrists as we come forwards and taking that pressure off as we come back. Now, keeping the palms on the floor, turn the fingertips to face the outside edges of the mat and start to rock from side to side. Super important that we get our wrists nice and warmed up for a flow like this where we'll be putting a lot of weight on them. Palms on the floor, turn the fingertips to face towards you, and once again rock back and forwards. Just taking it to the edge of the stretch for you. Now, keeping the fingertips facing towards you, bring the backs of the hands onto the mat. Thumbs are pointing up to the sky, and we keep on rocking. This might feel super uncomfortable for you right now, but if you do this frequently, it honestly starts to feel really good. I love doing this on my wrists. Now bring the palms flat on the floor, fingertips pointing forward. Keeping the fingertips on the mat, you're going to lift the soles of the hands off the floor and place them back down. Just keep lifting them up and down. So fingertips and knuckles stay rooted, we're just lifting the palms. This is activating our forearms here, which can be an area that's pretty difficult to tap into and to strengthen. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come to sit back on the heels. Give those wrists a little shake out. Letting go of any tension, any bad vibes. And then bring the fingers to interlace. Start to make circles with the hands going in one direction. And then switch directions. Turn the palms to face away from you, keeping the fingers interlaced, and then reach the arms up overhead. Lifting through the chest, opening through the shoulders. And release those hands back down onto the mat, tuck the toes under and press yourself up into a little ball. So it's like a toe balance with the arms wrapping around the knees here. You might bring the knees to point up towards the sky, or they might be pointing more in front of you. Just find what works for you. And then you're going to release the clasp, drop the knees back down, lift the hips up and then drop back into a camel pose, either with the toes tucked under or the feet flat on the floor. And it's still early in our practice, so just take it to where you need to go in this stretch. Drop yourself back down, tuck under those toes if they're not already, come back into that hug. Release, drop onto the knees, lift into your camel, and then back into that toe balance. Trying to do it all hands free, but you can use the hands to support you if that works for you. Camel pose, and back into that balance. Back to camel, and for the last time, back into that balance, giving the knees a big squeeze, coming right up onto your tiptoes. And then release, bring the knees back down, back into your tabletop. Now tuck the toes under, lift the knees to hover off the mat. Keeping the left knee hovering, you're going to tap the right knee either towards the wrist, the elbow, or up towards the armpit on your right arm. Take it across to the left, into the nose, place that foot back down, keep that knee hovering. Tap the left knee to the left arm as high up as you can, over to the right, into the nose, back down. Right to the left, to the nose, back down. Left to the left, over to the right, into the nose, back to that hover. Last time on each side, right to the right, to the left, to the nose, back down. Left to the left, to the right, to the nose, back to that hover, and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk it out into a plank pose. Whew, my arms and my abs are burning already, guys. And I'll rock it back into a downward facing dog. Whew, take a deep breath here. and start to pedal out through the legs, warming up through the hamstrings as we find some more strength through the shoulders and the arms in our downward facing dog. Basically strengthening and stretching the entire body here. Come back to a neutral position if you are pedaling out through the legs, and then rock your way back forwards into a plank pose. Lift the right foot to hover and then tap right knee to right elbow. Over to the left, into the nose, back to plank. Left to the left, to the right, to the nose, plank. Right to the right, to the left, to the nose, plank. Left to the left, to the right, to the nose, plank. One more on each side. Right elbow to the left, nose, plank. Last one, to the left, to the right, to the nose, plank, and then back to downward facing dog. Walk those hands in towards the feet, giving the hands and the arms a little break, and just pedal through the legs. You can bring opposite hand to opposite elbow and sway from side to side in a ragdoll. Maybe you come up into a halfway lift, creating some space in the chest, and then release back down into your fold. Now walk the hands all the way back out into your plank position and then wave it back into a downward facing dog. So we should be feeling pretty nice and warmed up now, ready to tackle some arm balances. So inhale, sweep the right leg high. Exhale, tap the right knee to the right elbow and bring the torso onto the backs of the arms. Fling yourself up into hurdler's pose. Lifting the right leg off the mat, right knee is balancing on the back of the right arm, and from your hurdlers, can you shoot the right leg back and land in a chaturanga? Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Same leg, inhale, sweep the right leg high. Exhale, step it through between the hands. Inhale, sweep the arms up into our high lunge. Exhale, put all your weight onto the right leg. Sweep the left leg into standing staff. Inhale here. Exhale, standing pigeon. Inhale, standing staff. Exhale, high lunge. Inhale here. Exhale, frame the foot. Step it back to a three-legged plank. Work through chaturanga with that leg lifted. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the left leg high. Exhale, bring that left knee onto the back of the left arm. Pop that right leg off into our hurdler's pose. Holding here, and then maybe shooting that left leg back, landing in a chaturanga. Inhaling to up dog. Exhaling to down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, launch forwards into your standing staff. Inhale here. Exhale, standing pigeon. Inhale, staff. Exhale, crescent lunge. Inhale here. Exhale, frame that foot. Step it to a three-legged plank and work through a chaturanga. Deep breath in, up dog. Deep breath out, down dog. Inhale, sweep the right leg high. Exhale, another chance at your hurdler's pose. And this time you might experiment with straightening that right leg out to the right side. Step it back to your chaturanga, upward dog and downward dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, launch into your standing staff. Exhale into your standing pigeon. Now this time, hold in your standing pigeon, opening through the hips, and then experiment with bringing the hands down onto the mat, hooking the left knee onto the left elbow and the left foot onto the right elbow, and flying into your pigeon. Lifting the right leg up to the sky, trying not to face plant, and then drop that right knee down. Bring the left knee to cross over the top of the right. Here we are, landing in our cow face pose. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, rock your way forwards, plant the hands at the top of the mat, root down through the left knee, sweep the right toes high, tuck onto the left toes, and fly yourself all the way back into a three-legged dog. Drop that right foot down. Inhale, sweep the left leg high. Exhale, another attempt at your hurdler's pose, maybe with a straight leg this time. And then take it back to a chaturanga. Up dog, down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, standing staff. Inhale, standing pigeon, and hold here for just an extra moment before bringing those hands down onto the earth, hooking that right leg over the back of the arms and flying the left leg up towards the sky. Drop that left knee down, cross the right knee in front of it, and sit yourself back into your cow face pose for just one moment, letting you all catch up wherever you landed in that flow. Roll back onto the knees, plant the hands on the mat, ground through the right knee, lift the left, tuck onto the right toes, lift the right knee, straighten that leg into a three-legged down dog, and then back to downward facing dog. Deep breath in here, and then sigh it out through the mouth. Inhale, sweep the right leg high. Exhale, take the right knee across the body this time for a revolved hurdlers. So crossing the outside of the right leg onto the backs of the arms. Maybe you fly, straighten those legs. Drop the left foot back down, land in a chaturanga. Inhale to up dog, exhale to down dog. Inhale, sweep the right toes high. Exhale, step that foot through in between the hands. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Now exhale, launch into a standing split, sweeping the left toes up towards the sky. You can bring the hands onto the earth, or bring them to heart center, or wrap them around the right ankle. Take 5 Jiva squats, so tapping the left knee to the back of the right leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sweep that leg high, bring the hands onto the earth, and then take 5 kicks off that right leg into a handstand. You might not get the handstand, just kicking up, maybe an inch or 2. Take your 5 kicks. And then can you kick up and land with the right foot at the back of the mat, left toes up to the sky, three-legged dog, and then drop that left foot back down. Inhale, sweep the right leg high. Exhale, take it across the body, another chance at our revolved hurdlers, and then back to chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the right leg high. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, launch into a standing split. Once again, taking 5 kicks up to handstand on the right leg. And then launching the left toes up to the sky. This time we keep the left toes lifted. Take a deep breath in and then take them across the body. Hook the outside of the left leg onto the backs of the arms. Fly yourself into your revolved hurdlers. Land in a chaturanga. Up dog, down dog. Inhale, left toes lift. Exhale, step them through. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, standing splits. Hands on the mat, the ankle or heart center. Take 5 Jiva squats. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bring the hands to the mat. Take 5 kicks off that left leg. And then on your last kick, bring the left toes to the back of the mat, right toes up to the sky, drop that right foot down. Inhale, sweep the left toes up. Exhale, take them across. Another chance at your hurdler's pose. And then back to a chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Deep breath in, sweep the left toes high. Deep breath out, step them through. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, standing split. And then straight into 5 kick-ups on that left leg. And then once you've done your 5, launching that left foot to the back of the mat, right toe sweep high, and then drop that right foot down. Either stay in your down dog or drop down for a child's pose. And take 3 deep breaths to recover your breath. As you can hear, I'm very out of breath, so if you are too, you are not alone. It is very hard to speak whilst doing all that funky stuff. So let's take a moment together to reconnect to our breath, reset. As you're ready, plant those hands at the top of the mat, tuck under the toes, fly the hips up to your downward facing dog, and then walk the hands and the feet to meet one another at the middle of the mat. Come up onto the toes and sink yourself down into a toe balance. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, twist open to the right, bringing the right fingertips back, left fingertips forwards, and then plant both hands down on the mat on the outside of that right leg. So pressing both elbows into the outer edge of that right thigh. We'll bring that right thigh to balance on the back of our elbows. Lift the hips off into cloud pose, and you can experiment with straightening the legs here. Bring them back together. I'll give you a few moments to play around with that, have a few attempts. Once you've had some time playing around in your cloud pose, we will try and do it again, but this time, instead of resting on the right elbow, we're just going to be resting the knees on the left elbow. So just 1 point of contact this time instead of 2. So instead of cloud, this is our side crow. Have some playtime and then drop yourself back down. We'll all meet back in a toe balance. Feel free to pop me on pause while you play around with any of these poses. Once you're ready to move on, we'll inhale, sweep the arms up, exhale, twist over to the other side, left arm back, right arm forwards, and then plant the hands on the earth on the outside of that left leg. Bringing the leg up onto the back of the arms, flying ourselves off, maybe straightening the legs. Bringing them back together, plopping ourselves down, taking a little break, taking a few attempts at that pose, and then maybe you try it with just the knees on the back of the right arm this time. And then plonk yourself back once again into the toe balance, where we will all meet, catching up before we move on to our next little challenge. You're just going to plonk your bum down on the mat, bring the feet out in front, plant the feet on the ground, knees pointing up to the sky, then plant the hands on the ground, fingertips pointing towards the toes, and then lift the hips up towards the sky into a reverse tabletop position. Shoulders over elbows, over wrists, knees over ankles. Hold here for a moment, opening through the chest, and then swing the hips through between the hands. Inhale, lift, exhale, swing it through. Inhale, lift, exhale, swing it through. Inhale, lift, exhale, swing it through, and maybe lift the feet off the mat. And back down. One last attempt, inhaling to lift. Exhale, swing it through, maybe find the hover, and then drop yourself back down. Give those wrists a little shake out. Take a little break before rocking up onto the feet, trying to bring yourself up to standing without using the hands to help you. We'll inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, come into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, flow through a chaturanga or straight back to downward facing dog. Come up onto the toes, and then maybe you find the jump through to seated. Come and meet us in a seated position. Whether or not you are successful does not matter. We'll keep the left leg extending out in front of us, toes pointing up to the sky. Then bring the right arm, not the right arm, the right leg up and over our shoulder here, and make our way into balanced elephant, pointing through the right toes, rooting down through the hands. Lift the hips off the mat, point those left toes. You can either stay in your balanced elephant, or you can experiment with shooting the legs over to the right, crossing the left ankle over the right, shooting the legs out to the side, bringing the torso parallel to the floor in our Ashtavakrasana. Just play around with that. Give it a few attempts. Maybe you just sit and chill out for a few minutes. That is totally cool too. No judgment here whatsoever. If you're ready to move on to the other side, we'll extend the right leg out in front of us. Bring the left leg up and over that left shoulder as high as you can get it. Root down through the hands, lift the hips, lift the leg, and then maybe cross those ankles, shoot it out into your Ashtavakrasana. Crooked in 8 places. Swing yourself back through centre. Once again, give those wrists a little shake out. Bring the hands to interlace and give them a little wiggle. Maybe turn the palms away from you. Stretch up overhead. Just find what feels good. As you're ready, cross over the ankles, plant the hands at the front of the mat, fly the hips back to downward dog, either taking a vinyasa on the way there or just making your way straight into a downward facing dog. Inhale, come up onto the toes, bend into the knees. Exhale, hop the feet to meet the hands or just step them to meet the hands. What would a arm balancing flow be without a good old crow pose? And we're nice and ready, nice and warmed up for it now. So bringing the knees onto the backs of the arms, flying those feet off the mat, drawing the heels in towards your bum, and we're going to tap the knees. So not tap the knees, tap the toes. So tapping one toe at a time down towards the earth. If you have a flying crow in your practice, you can take that, hovering one knee off, but I'm definitely not there yet. We'll hold our crow, and then we're going to shoot the legs to the back of the mat, land in a chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Now walk the hands to meet the feet. Inhale, halfway lift, and then come up to standing with a flat back. Bring the hands to the hips, step the feet out wide, toes pointing out at an angle. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, sink into a squat. Inhale, sweep them up. Exhale, squat. One more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, squat, and hold here. So giving our arms a little break, finding some strength through the legs. Bring the hands onto the knees and then dip the right shoulder in. Come back through centre, over to the other side. Back through centre, dip in the right. Back to centre, dip in the left. Come back through centre, hands at heart. Inhale, straighten the legs, and then give the hips a little shimmy shake out. Keeping the toes where they are, bring the heels to point out. So now the heels are pointing out, the toes are pointing in. Deep breath in, reach those arms up. Deep breath out, come down into a forward fold. Wiggle those hips from side to side, warming up through the inner thighs, stretching through the backs of the legs. Now start to slide the hands so they're underneath your shoulders if they're not already. Spread through the fingers, then start to walk the feet in just enough that you can hook the elbows underneath your thighs, and maybe you start to lift. Maybe you start to lift the legs off the mat and straighten them into your Basana. And then plonk yourself down into a wide leg seated fold. Your legs do not have to look the same as mine. Your legs might be like this, they might be like this, they might be narrower than mine, they might be wider than mine. Whatever you've got going on is totally cool. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, start to walk those hands towards the front of the mat, coming into a fold. You'll be pleased to know that that was our last arm balance of the day. So we're starting to cool things down. As you spend time in this pose, you might start to slowly descend further and further into the stretch. Use your next breath in to draw yourself up to an upright position. Bring the left hand towards the right thigh, sweep the right arm up and over towards the left toes, stretching through the side body. Inhale, come back through centre. Exhale, take it over to the other side. Inhale, unravel, unwind. Make your way into a tabletop by crossing over the ankles, rolling onto the knees, finishing off where we started, giving the wrists a little bit of love, rocking back and forth. Turn those fingertips to face out, rock from side to side. Bring the fingertips towards you, rocking back and forth again. Come onto the back of the hands. Come back to your tabletop position. Inhale, sweep the right arm up and start to take big circles with that right arm. Taking that hand towards the back of the room and sweeping it forwards. And then thread that right arm underneath the left. Come onto the right ear and the right shoulder, either pressing into the earth with the left hand, bringing the hands to interlace, press together at heart centre, to press yourself deeper into the stretch. You can stay here, or if you are feeling up for a little extra challenge just to finish off our flow, you can press into the right elbow, lift the head off the mat, so no weight in your head and neck here, and then start to fly that left leg up towards the sky, balancing pretty much on the right elbow and the right knee here. If you've got the right foot on the floor, you might even experiment with hovering that. And then bring everything back down into our puppy pose. If you stay just chilling out, that's cool. Option here is to reach the left arm up and over for the right inner thigh and take a bind. Inhale, unravel yourself, reach the right arm up for one last windmill, place it back down. Inhale, sweep the left arm up, start to take those circles, sweeping the hand to the back of the mat. And then thread that arm through, come onto left ear and left shoulder, press the right hand into the earth, or bring the hands to interlace or press together at heart centre. Maybe stay here or lift the head off the mat, come onto the left elbow before flying the right toes up towards the sky, maybe hovering the left toes, or just staying in that stretch where we will all meet back once again. Then maybe experiment with taking that bind, reaching the right hand for the left inner thigh. Inhale, unravel, maybe sweep for one last windmill up to the sky, then start to walk the hands forwards, keeping the hips over the knees, sink that chest down into puppy pose. Maybe come up onto the fingertips to intensify the stretch. Plant the hands and the forearms on the earth and then slide your way forwards into Sphinx, lifting through the chest, drawing the shoulder blades down and back. Now slide the hands back so they're underneath the shoulders and take 3 rolling cobras. Inhaling to lift the chest, exhaling, descending down. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. One more time, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Now bring the hands wider than the mat, come up onto the fingertips, lift up and then dip the right shoulder down. Inhale, lift, exhale, dip the left. Inhale to lift, exhale, dip the right. Inhale, lift, exhale, dip the left. Now inhale, lift, exhale, lower down. Slide the hands under the shoulders, come onto the knees. Press yourself back into either a wide leg or a narrow leg child's pose. And just slide yourself from side to side, wiggling into the hips. Bring one hand to stack on top of the other, creating a little pillow for your head to rest on. Fill those lungs with air as you press yourself up to a seated position. Bring the knees to touch. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bring the left hand to the outside of the right knee. Right fingertips out behind, or right fingertips hook around the left hip. Inhale to find a bit more length. Exhale to find a bit more depth. Deep breath in, sweep those arms up. Deep breath out, twist to the other side. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, plant those hands at the top of the mat. Snake your way onto your belly and then simply roll over onto your back. Hug those knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Then land in whatever version of Shavasana is calling your name today. Might be the traditional Shavasana, might be a Supta Baddha Konasana, or a constructive rest pose. Whatever position you've chosen, I'll invite you to tuck the chin in towards the chest slightly to find some length down the back of the neck. Draw the shoulder blades in towards one another, creating a little pillow for your chest. And lift the hips, lengthen the tailbone down towards the heels, finding length through the lower spine. Enjoy a few moments of stillness, of silence, letting the body rest, reconnect, reset. Letting the benefits of that movement distribute throughout the body, sink in. Feel free to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you wish. If you're ready to move on with me, you can start to bring whatever movement is calling to you today. Stretching, wiggling, shaking it out before pressing your way up to a seat. Keeping the eyes closed if that feels comfortable. Now take a moment to return to the intention that you set at the start of the practice. And maybe set an intention here for the rest of your day. Do you want to take that playfulness? Do you want to let go of frustration, challenge yourself, find the joy in difficult situations? As you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. If you enjoyed this flow, then please give me a thumbs up so I know you enjoyed it and that I should make more like it in the future. Leave any comments with requests, suggestions, thoughts, anything you fancy. And of course, please subscribe so that we can do yoga together again in hopefully the near future. Sending you lots of love and wishes for a wonderful day.